constitutional duty. You fall short, you don't work there anymore.
Well, there was a list. You don't like it to be called an enemies list, and it had about 60 names, and about 20 have had an adverse action. So those are, I think, pretty clear facts. Let me move on to your grand jury testimony, which we also talked about when you were here. I think you indicated that you understood that a witness in the grand jury is free to discuss afterwards whatever they told the grand jury. And you then went on to suggest, saying, I can't go into court orders granted by the D.C. District Chief Judge, and you want me to violate a court order. In those remarks, you fairly plainly suggested that there was a court order of some kind that somehow restricted or limited your ability to discuss your own testimony to that grand jury. Since then, that chief judge that you mentioned, Judge Boasberg, has written, and I'm quoting him here, Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 6E allows witnesses like Patel to divulge the contents of their testimony, meaning that nothing was preventing him from doing so before the committee. Can we confirm here today that there is no court order of any kind that limits your ability as a witness before the grand jury to discuss your own testimony to that grand jury?
We can confirm that pursuant to my action that grand jury testimony has been released, the transcript.
Let's, in what forum was it released, may I ask?
Publicly.
Okay, we'll check on that. The FBI does background investigations. In the case of a U.S. attorney, Jeanine Pirro, it has come to light that in a civil proceeding, that Fox News executives, prior to her confirmation, called her, I'm quoting here, a reckless maniac who makes, quote, insane comments, and said, I don't trust her to be responsible, and noted her penchant for what they called random conspiracy theories on weird internet sites. My question to you is, did that turn up in her background investigation?
For any background investigation, Senator, we do not discuss those publicly. And for every background investigation, when there's an adjudication, it is not made by me. It is made by the career professionals who run the inspection division and background check system.
Do you know if that information was found? You see, we're an oversight body here, and there are really three possibilities here. One is that the FBI background investigation didn't find that stuff. That's worth noting because these investigations, full field background investigations, are supposed to find that stuff. That's possibility one. Possibility two is that the FBI did in fact find that information and then did not report it to the administration or to the committee. And the third is that you found it, you reported it to the administration, and they went ahead with her nomination knowing that she had been described as a reckless maniac who made insane comments, who wasn't trusted by colleagues to be responsible, and who had a penchant for random conspiracy theories on weird internet sites. Are you saying that this committee does not have any authority or reason to look into which of those things is true?
This committee can look into anything it wishes. I'm telling you that the background investigations that are done by the HRD division are done by career individuals. They do not report the details of those to me. They adjudicate those independently and individually. That's how it's always been done.
What happened during the pause?
Okay, so here's the breakdown. Chair Grassley is kind of setting the stage. Senator Whitehouse, questioner, comes in strong. First, he pushes Patel on whether there was ever a court order stopping him from talking about his own grand jury testimony. Turns out, nope. The judge himself said Patel could have shared it. Dear Nedkash Patel, responder, admits. Yes, no order. The testimony was already released publicly. Then Whitehouse shifts gears. He brings up Jeanine Pirro, a U.S. attorney nominee. Apparently even Fox News execs once called her reckless, a conspiracy theorist, and untrustworthy. He asks Patel, did the FBI background check catch that? And if so, who knew what? Patel responds carefully. We don't discuss background checks. Independent career officials handle those, not me. Main point. Whitehouse is basically testing whether the FBI missed something, hid something, or passed info along and leadership ignored it. Patel is holding the line, saying the process is independent and out of his personal hands. Wow. This felt like courtroom drama levels of tension. Whitehouse wasn't just asking questions, he was building a case. And Patel? He was like a statue, giving these super-controlled answers. Honestly, I was waiting for one of them to crack a smile or drop a gotcha moment, but nope, all serious. And can we talk about that description of Jeanine Pirro? Reckless maniac? And conspiracy theories on weird internet sites? That sounds like a roast straight out of Twitter, not a professional hearing. Here's the takeaway, fam. Oversight matters. Whether it's government, business, or even your workplace, transparency builds trust. If background checks miss the obvious, or if leadership ignores red flags, it can erode public confidence real quick. All right, what do you think? Was Patel being truthful, or was he dodging like a pro? Drop your hot takes in the comments. I'll be reading them. Don't forget to hit like, tap subscribe, and ring that bell for more My Shock filler reactions. We've got plenty more political drama to break down together.
To the administration or to the committee. And the third is that you found it, you reported it to the administration, and they went ahead with her nomination, knowing that she had been described as a reckless maniac who made insane comments, who wasn't trusted by colleagues to be responsible, and who had a penchant for random conspiracy theories on weird internet sites. Are you saying that this committee does not have any authority or reason to look into which of those things is true?
This committee can look into anything it wishes. I'm telling you that the background investigations that are done by the HRD division are done by career individuals. They do not report the details of those to me. They adjudicate those independently and individually. That's how it's always been done.
What happened during the pause of FBI background investigations that was alleged in the complaint against you and the FBI by the FBI agents who were terminated? On February 12th, Emil Bovee directed the FBI, quote, to pause any FBI background investigations of Trump nominees until Patel was confirmed, which happened on February 20th, is the general description of what they alleged. Why, do you know, were background investigations paused? Was it so material like this could be scrubbed out of them? And have they been resumed without that pause fully and normally after your arrival on February 20th?
I can speak to the time period since I got there. Background investigations have been ongoing across the board at the FBI.
Why was the pause, do you know?
I was not there.
Wasn't explained to you when you got there? Oh, by the way, boss, they've had an 8-day pause on background investigations. You think that would be something that would be explained to you at some point?
Again, I leave it to the men and women at the HRD division to run background investigations. I do not interfere with them.
I get that. But what I don't get is whether you were told about that pause, and why would you not be told about that pause?
I don't recall that, sir.
All right. The allegation also relates that part of the employee review of senior staff was whether or not they voted for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Since when is who you voted for a proper question for agents to be asked?
I don't know what allegation you're referring to, Senator. If it's from an ongoing matter in litigation, I can't discuss that. But what I can discuss is I can only speak to the FBI's background investigations. There are other background investigations conducted across the government. I can only speak to mine.
So just to clarify, I'm not talking about the FBI full field background investigations. I'm talking about internal employee reviews for promotion, for termination, for job actions of various kinds. And my question to you is it now the policy of the FBI to ask agents who they voted for, and since when is who agents voted for a proper question for the FBI to ask?
Taking those in reverse order, it's not a proper question, and it's improper to allege that I'm doing that.
All right, let's break this down. Senator Whitehouse, questioner, is pressing hard. He says, there was a pause in FBI background investigations around February, right before Patel was confirmed. An allegation even claims this pause could have been used to scrub or remove negative info. He asks Patel, why was there a pause? Were you told about it? And after your confirmation, did things go back to normal? Dear Cash Patel, responder. I wasn't there when it happened, and I wasn't told why. Background checks are handled by HR and career staff, not me. Whitehouse pushes again. Really? Nobody explained this pause to you? Patel sticks to, I leave it to HR, I don't recall. Then Whitehouse raises a more explosive point. Apparently, during internal reviews, agents were allegedly asked whether they voted for Kamala Harris in 2024. He asks Patel, since when is that a proper question for the FBI? Patel, I don't know the allegation you're referring to. It's tied to ongoing litigation. But no, asking who you voted for is not proper. Main meaning, Whitehouse is trying to expose possible political interference in FBI hiring and investigations. Patel is carefully distancing himself, saying processes are independent and that he doesn't recall being told about any pause. Whoa! Okay, two big bombshells here. A mysterious pause in FBI background checks, right before Patel's confirmation. That sounds shady already. The claim that agents were asked who they voted for? What? That's straight up creepy if true. Imagine your boss asking you about your ballot choices. Total red flag. Patel, meanwhile, gave the classic I wasn't there, I don't recall answers. Honestly, it felt like watching someone dodge raindrops in a storm. Here's the takeaway. Politics should never mix with professional hiring or law enforcement processes. Whether you're in government, business, or even school, fair rules matter. Asking about someone's vote? That's not just improper, that's dangerous for democracy. So what do you all think? Was Patel genuinely out of the loop or playing it safe with I don't recall? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on that bell for more shock-filled reactions right here on my Shock Filler.